Fucking smart.
Uh,
Folks, guess what? Serious Brad, Finish His Podcast. That's me. I'm Serious Brad. And that right there in the corner or on the whole screen is Lethal J. We were talking wrestling on our live show, Finish His Podcast, Greg DeMarco Radio Network, YesWrestling.com, and we got cut off when we were talking about Raw and SmackDown because a lot of shit went down, and we were talking about the headbutt heard around the world.
yeah.
The headbutt heard around the world. Vince McMahon took a smacker to his forehead, and folks, it was not a gig. And if you know, for all your, for your encyclopedia, for your dictionary of terms of wrestling, a gig is a razor blade that they use to cut your forehead and make you bleed. Yes, folks, I just went past the fourth wall and I told you a little secret that you may have not known. It was not a gig. And if you want to call Kevin Owens' forehead going at his forehead at full force a gig, then yeah, it was a gig because that's exactly what happened. Isn't that right, Lethal J?
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty brutal. Yeah, it was a bad one. He just, I still can't believe that they did it. Like, it's just, it was so dangerous. Like, I wonder, I mean, it had been 4 years since he was on, since Vince was on SmackDown. It'll probably be another 4. Probably. It was just, oh, I can't believe he, I mean, but like we were talking about before, I mean, that's Vince McMahon for you. I mean, he's not going to be a pushover about it. So, I mean, yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. SmackDown this week was much better than Raw. Even they had between that segment, which like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it was a big segment. Like, obviously it was. I mean, obviously that Shane and Owens. Obviously that's like that's the main thing. Basically, I mean they're pushing that over. Styles. They're pushing that over Knock and Jinder, which is, I don't even want to get into that. I'm not too happy about that. But it's just like this seems to be their main program going forward. So I mean, I guess they felt they needed to go over big with it, and in my opinion, it was a little over the top.
It was a little bit over the top, and like we were saying earlier, and Taz said this on his show earlier that it's Vince McMahon. Like, he probably told Kevin Owens before he went out there, he's like, dude, if you're gonna do it, you better do it hard and you better do it right, because if you're watching the show, when it happened, it wasn't like a gradual like open and it started bleeding. As soon as his head hit that mat, you could see the blemish on his forehead. Boom, it was done. So, I mean, I have to agree with you, man. SmackDown was pretty kick ass. I mean, not to you've got, I don't want to spoil, what you have, what you want to talk about, but New Day, man, the New Day are champions now again for the third time.
Again, another thing that we might have different opinions on. Personally, I don't know. I love the New Day. I love Kofi. I love Xavier Woods. Big E, I would love to see as a singles competitor. I mean, for those who don't know, Big E was the second NXT champion, I believe, after Seth Rollins. Of course, he was the first one, obviously. Yeah, just like I think that, I mean, they're still way over with the crowd. They're way over with like the kids still and everything like that. But I don't know. I'm almost kind of looking for a change, and not because they're a bad tag team, but like they're each individually very good singles competitors. I mean, they're very good wrestlers, all three of them. Well, Big E to me kind of stands out more than the other two, but I mean, they can all have like good singles matches, and I just like Big E especially. Like, if you could push Big E for a title, like the Intercontinental title, the United States title, the dude's mad athletic. He's very, very strong, and he does all he does the crazy, fly through the ropes to the outside and stuff like that. So I mean,
he's a big man too.
Yeah, he is. He's 300 plus pounds. So Yeah, like I like them, but they've had the matches they've had with the Usos lately have been good. Of course, their one at SummerSlam was that was one of the best matches on the card, and
Yeah.
this one wasn't bad either. Um, one thing I will say that I was rather happy about was well, I don't, hopefully they continue to do so, but having Dillinger go up against Styles, hopefully he'll get a little bit of a push. He's a great performer, great wrestler,
Yeah,
super, super over with the crowd. Yeah, the crowd convinced that he won with the tiebreaker. I mean, the crowd counted the three. Um, and I like they did good announcing on that part because like they were like, oh geez, like that was his finisher, and he kicked out of it, and then they did the whole, well, usually pulls the knee pad down to get a little extra like damage, and I was like, that's a good call, because I mean that kind of saved it a little bit,
a
for the
little bit.
like,
Yeah.
because I mean he lost, but he still hit, still had the close call on Styles, and next time maybe he'll pull the knee pad down or whatever kind of thing. But hopefully he gets a bit of a push. An awesome thing about the match was that you put anybody in the ring with AJ Styles and they're gonna have a good match. I mean, the dude's just on a whole different level. He's easily the
Oh yeah.
best. He's the best worker in the company. The only people that come close are Nakamura. I mean, and after that is a competitor that they don't ever use on TV with Sami Zayn, and stuff.
That's sad. It really
He
is sad that
got
happened.
he got a little FaceTime on SmackDown, of course, because of the whole Owens thing and how he said he was going to fire him and all that kind of shit, and did the whole him and I think they're building towards something bigger with Zayn and him. Maybe Mania. Who knows? I mean, they obviously. I mean, Sami Zayn kind of quote unquote finished the feud or whatever, but with I don't remember what program it was at, but I mean they had a match. I can't remember if it was earlier in the year or last year, and they kind of settled that. Then they switched brands, but my guess is that they'll come back to that. I mean,
Yeah.
those two, whether they're tagging together or going against each other, those two have. I mean, people. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I mean, I'm sure most of you do. I mean, they've known each other for literally years. They're best friends, and they've had tons of crazy matches, like in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and all different kinds of things. When Sammy was known as El Generico, so they can basically do no wrong in the ring together. So you need to put that on a big stage. Like, I don't know, just with the talent and everything right now in the company, like Mania, like it could just be so crazy. It could be so good. It could just be so good.
It
And
really could.
and I mean that's like the thing though. Like you really can tell the difference between American wrestling and like Japanese wrestling, because I've watched an incredible amount of New Japan. This year is the most I've ever watched New Japan. I don't think I've missed an event. Um, I've kept up with all the storylines and everything like that, and just like it's so drastically different, New Japan
Oh yeah.
to America. Like a person like Jinder Mahal over in New Japan, who wouldn't be getting over like he is. But then again, a lot of this goes back to Vince and his love for these just like these evil, villainous looking people. Like Jinder Mahal, he would have been a great heel in the late '80s, or the early '90s or something like that. And
He's
that,
just so stiff.
yeah, it's bad. It reminds me of like I know like there's no similarity. There's not a lot of similarities, but it just reminds me of like when Sergeant Slaughter turned heel into the whole Israeli sympathizer thing. I know it's not the same thing, but just like it's the
Pretty
same
close.
style heel kind of, and it's just I don't know. It's just I think and the thing that I'm enjoying about it actually though is I think as New Japan and other companies like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, like Bola had a huge coverage, so a lot of people blew up about that. Of course, Kenny Omega was there, so and everybody knows who Kenny Omega is now. Um,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so I think the fans and NXT has helped this a lot. See, I'm trying to choose my words carefully here because I don't want to say that WWE fans don't know what wrestling is, but like it's real. Like they're starting to I think they're starting to know and they're starting to realize that like people, other people in the world and other companies are having these like ridiculous matches with all these crazy high spots and these strong style matches and everything. And
Yeah.
I think with NXT bringing that a bit forward, because they obviously kind of have that presentation like coming more towards NXT and everything. I think fans are starting to finally realize that, hey, this wrestling is freaking awesome. Like, you know, like this is I'd much rather watch Okada and Omega go for 45 minutes, like with all these crazy high spots and everything, than
Oh yeah.
watch, you know, no offense to the people who enjoy this kind of stuff, but you know, like Braun Strowman versus Big Show in a cage match. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I think people are finally starting to catch on to like that type of wrestling, like the more faster paced. It's just it's just a whole new ball game now. And
Well,
I
it's
think
definitely a new
people
breed.
are, yeah.
It's a new breed, and it's variety. And what people are starting to realize is like there's a lot more out there. There's a reason why WWE is so phenomenal. It's not because they train all these people at you know at the
Yeah,
WWE. Yeah, some of them
exactly.
yes, some of them yes, but these people more likely when they come back and they're phenomenal, like AJ Styles or Kenny Omega, for example, or who there's a plethora of people that have gone to the WWE, have left the WWE,
Yeah.
and polished themselves. Like for example,
Yeah.
Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan has said himself, he's like he left himself because he wanted to become who he wanted to become. He didn't want to become a cookie cutter wrestler at the WWE. He wanted to go out, become something that he felt comfortable with, that he was in love with,
Right.
and he says himself like he would love to go back to WWE, and the door was open for him when he left. But he's going out there and kind of like being the front man for a lot of talent that is flourishing on the independent circuit. And more likely than not, people are going to flourish more on the independent circuit than they are going to WWE. Don't get it,
for sure.
WWE money is WWE money.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. You'll sit in that goddamn locker room and get that paycheck.
Yeah.
But people like Sami Callihan and Ricochet and all that talent that just makes your jaw just the whole damn time. They want to be on the independent circuit, people.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. They could call the WWE at any time they wanted to and be in the WWE. It has nothing to do with we're waiting. No, they're the best of the best. They're not waiting for anything. They're just they're enjoying the sauce right now, man.
Yeah.
Because they got a lot of juice in the independent circuit. And why would you want to leave that? This is like Kenny Omega. Why would you want to leave New Japan Wrestling? You're a fucking god right there. You're literally a god in New Japan Wrestling. You're the first guy. You're the first gaijin, as they say, foreigner to win the G1 G1 Classic, or is it? Yeah.
Yep. G1 Climax.
G1 Climax.
Yeah.
And the first United States NWG, or I can't even think of it right now. IGPP or IWGP. Oh, sorry, New Japan.
Cool.
I love you guys, buddy. But you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to go to the WWE when you've got that much, in the palm of your hand? Yeah. So, folks, don't get it twisted. WWE is where people want to go for that money and maybe end their career like AJ Styles, because AJ Styles, like you said, he has no reason to go anywhere else. He has done everything. Yep. He has won every goddamn belt that there is out there to win. He has cemented himself. He has nothing to prove to anybody. He is just hanging out in WWE. And, one, yeah, he's looking good. But two, he's making other people look good. And that's what a true veteran does.
Yeah. It's all about putting people over.
Yeah, he gets all the accolades. He has all the accolades. and now it's time to kind of just trickle that down to the talent. So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And that goes back to what we were talking about. WWE has a flood of talent, and they don't know what to do with it. And WrestleMania could be fucking amazing. They just gotta keep the talent. They gotta make sure the talent's not getting injured. And
That's the problem. Like, because they'd rather have the big strong guy who is probably on some substances he shouldn't be on the match on TV rather than the worker, like somebody like Sami Zayn or whatever. But yeah, that's the thing they need to work on. And like I said, I think they're starting to realize that, and they're starting to turn more towards that and everything. So, I mean, all we can do is wait, and see and hope that they catch on, and I think they will eventually. I mean, because it's going to get to the point where I don't know if you caught any of the or read about the match between with some of these big guys in PWG, like Jeff Cobb and oh god, it was Jeff Cobb and who was the other guy? I can't remember, but Keith Lee, and like it's getting to the point where like everybody's gonna be doing, like, these are two big guys. Those guys had a crazy match. I've had a hard time finding it, but like, I guess the point I'm trying to get to is like it's gonna eventually get to the point where every wrestler is gonna be a good wrestler. I feel like because everybody's like with this. I mean, it's like you need to be able to do the crazy flippy shit and like all that kind of stuff to get the pop, because everything nowadays seems to be about the pop and all that. So like, I think it's like wrestlers are finally starting to realize that, like, it's, what's the, I don't know. Like, I really like to think that people are starting to kind of realize, I know it's for money and everything, but I think wrestlers are starting to realize that it's not just for the paycheck. Like, they want to be genuinely liked and everything. So,
well, that's the thing is, people like, Ric Flair. When you think of Ric Flair, you think money, you think prestige, you think 16-time champion, 21-time champion altogether. When you think of a guy like that, you think money. Why? Because he projected that money. But guys like Kenny Omega and Xavier Woods and all these guys, that literally go in to perform because they want their legacy cemented. People aren't going to think money. They're going to think, oh, you remember that match at WrestleMania? Oh, you remember the G1 climax?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to remember those moments. They're not going to remember them making, 2.2 million a pay-per-view like The Rock, brought up. He's like, I don't come to the WWE unless it's, over, if it's under $1 million, I'm not setting foot in, in the WWE.
Right.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's an actor now. He's Hollywood right now, and he has a legitimate resume. You know what I mean? It's not like John Cena, who had a couple movies and he's kind of piggybacking on that and doing talk shows and stuff like that. It's The Rock is a movie star now. You don't think of him as a WWE wrestler, but a lot of those guys in there, those guys that are completely committed to wrestling, ride or die. Like, until a doctor says I'm done, I'm gonna keep on pushing. Like AJ Styles, you're not gonna think money. You're gonna think the Bullet Club. You're gonna think accolades. You're gonna think Royal Rumble. You're gonna think of all these things that have nothing to do with money. It's gonna be AJ Styles is phenomenal, bar none. And I'm actually kind of doing. You're gonna be thinking, you're gonna be thinking stuff like that. So I have to agree with you. A lot of these guys aren't out for the money. I mean, they are for the money. They've got families. They got bills to pay.
Exactly.
We all got to work. But it's a lot of people out there really care about the business, care about, and I apologize. I made a tweet saying, you know, people hate it when you call the business. Excuse the fuck out of me. The industry.
All right.
You know, they're into the industry to make the industry better and put out good names and put out good matches and not trash it like a lot of you know, a lot of companies do. They don't care. They just, you know, like there's this place over in I'm trying to think of the name of it. I can't think of the name of it right now, but we talked about it on a past show. Actually, David Starr was supposed to come on the show, but he couldn't because he went to the UK. We had a lot of rescheduling, but he was actually dealing with a promotion. And when I think of it, I'll probably put it on the link here. But these guys are booking big names, and getting the tickets for those big names like David Starr and Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb actually was just a victim of it, and they'll book them, get that money for those big names, and then before they even come over to the UK, they'll cancel the show and cancel, you know, and keep the money.
Right.
So that's, you know, it's places like that that give wrestling a bad name.
Yeah, for sure.
And what really sucks is that trickles down with the talent that is involved with that advertisement, with that promotion at the time. And it's definitely not the wrestler's fault. But unfortunately, you know, they associate them losing money, them being bamboozled, with those big time names. So it's, you know, it needs to. We need to have more wrestlers, more promotions that you know, shine a good light and make people realize that actually pro wrestling is the #1 watched event show. WWE. You know, like you could take Super Bowl, you could take the Wimbledon, and they post this stuff on Raw. You know, I'm not making this shit up.
Yeah.
It's all of the viewership of, you know, these 4 big events still don't beat, you know, a live WrestleMania pay-per-view or any pay-per-view. You know, it's the longest running episodic show in the world. So, you know, people, you know, wrestling is here to stay.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? You may not want to believe it, but more people watch it. 7 out of 10 people watch it. 7 out of 10 people watch it, people.
Right.
That's an amazing ratio. So, you know, we're just trying to, you know, make the industry a little bit better. And that's what Bend the Shoulders podcast is doing, actually. We're bringing independent wrestlers and promoters and entertainers onto the show so Lethal J and I can interview them, so you people can get to know them a little bit better. So when they do show up to the WWE, you people know who they are, and they don't get swept underneath the rug. And so you guys can make some noise. So, for example, and this is probably not going to happen, but it's a name that's being recognized a lot, is Adam Cole. Adam Cole's in NXT right now. He's not going to be swept underneath the rug. They did him perfectly. But for example, if Adam Cole came to the NXT, the people did not receive his prestige like they did. Shows like mine are gonna be like, Adam Cole's the bomb. Adam Cole's the shit. He did this. He did this. He did this. This and this. Make sure you don't forget him, and make some noise if he is. Like, what the fuck? And, you know, for example, like AJ Styles, to go back to AJ Styles, when he came into the WWE, he was wasted talent for like a good month and a half or so. Like, where the fuck is AJ Styles? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
they said the plan for him was actually to originally use him as a mid-carder, and then they found out how big of a pop he was, and that's so be. I mean, he's a main spotlight in programs now. So
yeah. Well, I mean, he's right. I mean, he made it started off as a joke, but when he said he's the face that runs the place and kind of like coined that from John Cena or whatever, he's absolutely fucking right.
All right.
I think AJ Styles is. I think he's going to be the inadvertent face of the company, even though they're trying to push, you know, fucking Roman Reigns and who else are they trying to put? I mean, don't get me. Braun Strowman's awesome. I love Braun Strowman. I want him to be an intricate part in the Raw. I don't know if he'll ever be the face of the company, But I would definitely want to be an intricate part. I'm fucking talking
Sure.
too much, dude. This is what happens. I see this on
That's cool,
every
man.
damn show. Like Serious Brad runs his fucking suck. That's why he.
The main
But
mouth.
anyways,
That's cool, man.
the main mouth.
That's fair.
Yeah, but go ahead, man. Go take the mic. I'm gonna try to send a link out to everyone so they can come join us on this show.
Oh well, geez, that's pretty much a lot of what I had. The last couple, the little things, a couple more little things. Of course, Kerry Zane won the Mae Young Classic, and she's gonna get a shot at the NXT title. So that's awesome. And
Is that what was that
yep.
part of the contract? Okay.
Yeah, like, well, no, I don't honestly know, but I know that they announced it's more than likely going to be a multi-women match at the next takeover, and she'll be one of the competitors. My guess is it'll be a 4-way or a 5 or something like that, and they'll have the NXT chicks in it, I'm sure, and that. But anyway, she's going to be in the match for the title. So there was that, and last thing actually. 205 Live, I don't really talk about it too much. It doesn't really, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve the time of day, but I mean, it hasn't really done anything crazy, but they actually had a pretty cool moment. Jack Gallagher actually turned heel, which was really cool. The gentleman, Jack Gallagher, curly mustache, the palest man on the roster, maybe other than Sheamus, but turned heel and turned heel and sided with Brian Kendrick. So that was awesome. And he looked like it's like a Jack the Ripper kind of persona. Like he's like this creep. Like he's like he play. I think he's gonna play a good heel or whatever. But anyway, that was pretty big, and that pretty much caps off this interesting week of wrestling for sure.
Bada bing, bada boom. And actually, we got to talk real quick because you said 205.
Yep.
And the first thing I think about 205 when it comes to news right now, other than Jack Gallagher being healed, because that's kick ass.
Yeah.
They found a spot for Enzo.
Yeah, right. I knew that was going to happen. I think I called that a while ago. I was going to say they're going to send him to 205 Live, and he's going to get a push, and he may even win the title. And it's just because nobody else wants to do anything with him. That's the thing. Yeah. He's got nothing now. The one big thing he had going for him was that 7-foot motherfucker, and he's not even around anymore. So, they're not around each other. Plus, Cass is hurt or whatever. So, it's just it's I hate to say it like this, but I mean he's pretty much dead. Like there's nothing he could do to redeem himself. Maybe they could do when Cass comes back, as long as he's good to go, maybe they could do a reunion kind of program. But nah, I don't think so. I think he's pretty much done, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I really liked Cass. I won't lie to you. I didn't like what they were doing to him.
All right.
But I like Cass. I really was kind of hoping that he was going to get some kind of push. Enzo, he bugs the fuck out of me. When Miz like buried him on Raw, like that was probably one of the happiest moments of my life.
Yeah.
When it comes
Miz
to
is
wrestling.
great. I love Miz on the mic.
And what made it even better is everything that Miz said. How does fucking Enzo respond? By exactly doing what Miz said he did wrong, by spitting out a catchphrase and trying to I don't even know what the fuck he was trying to do, to be honest.
And a lot of that goes back to the writing right now is atrocious, in my opinion.
Well, it is atrocious, but like, why did he even go down to even confront Miz? I forgot. He's supposed to be on 205 Live. And he said,
I don't
come back to Raw.
Right.
No, you ain't coming back to Raw, dude, because you were sent. There's no room for you.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't want to see you shuffle anymore, man.
No,
it's fucking sad.
It's over.
And this may be dirt sheet stuff. I don't know. I could be wrong. This may be dirt sheet, but I think he also cheated on Liv, dude.
Oh, really? I've not heard about that or anything.
Well, because Liv posted something on our Twitter, and this may be actually trolling. I don't know, so don't quote me on this. But I'm almost certain he cheated on Liv, dude. Like,
Oh
what?
man.
Why would you? First of all, Enzo, you look like a poodle that was seriously like thrown into a fucking grinder and just I don't. It's bad. You look horrible,
Yeah.
dude. Like your style makes. I don't. I don't know. We could do a whole other fucking podcast on me thinking of Enzo and why he should not be on the WWE.
Right.
But he's an idiot. I
Yeah.
hope they bury him, and I hope they send him off, and I hope Cass returns, and maybe they try him as a face, and try to slap a belt on him, because I think he'd be a good
Right.
champion if he, and that's another Heyman guy right there, dude. That'd be one hell of a
Yeah.
Heyman guy.
Right.
I'm saying. But you know what, folks? We're gonna real quick. We're gonna say thank you to guestwrestling.com, our home. High Q Hydration Energy. Tim, what's up? Square Circle Apparel, Grapple, Pro Wrestling Blitz in Chicago. Of course, our local spots, Avalanche Wrestling Entertainment. This week, Saturday, September 16th, Aroostook Center Mall, 3:30 bell time. Be there because it's gonna be rad. We have Tony Atlas showing up, dude. WWE legend Tony Atlas. That's pretty kick ass. But hey, guys, this is Lethal J. This is Serious Brad. This has been Wrestling Talk. And remember, it's never a bad time to be serious or lethal.